It's 7 o'clock news bulletin live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. Oman Business Forum discusses in Muscat enhancing the partnership between the public and private sectors. The Al Batna Expressway from Muscat to Shinas is to be opened in April. And different sea fossils are discovered in the governorate of Al Buraymi, dates back to millions of years. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco on the success of the surgery he underwent. Meanwhile, His Majesty the Sultan has sent a similar cable to His Excellency Mohammed Abdul Hamid, President of Bangladesh, on the re-electing him for another presidential term. Aiming at enhancing partnership between public and private sectors, the works of Oman Business Forum started today in Muscat. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court. It reviews local and international changes in the fields of business and the fourth industrial revolution. It also discussed growth and investment opportunities in the Sultanate in particular and the regional and world in general. The forum is one of the initiatives of Task Group for Partnership between Public and Private Sectors that works to increase contact and cooperation among members from both sectors as to discover growth opportunities in the Sultanate. It also seeks to build partnership with regional and international forums and exchange of expertise in the fields of business. The Minister of Transport and Communications announced the date for the opening of complete Al Batna Express Road Muscat-Shinas, which will be next April. This came in a press conference for shedding light on the Ministry's plan for 2018. Among the projects to be opened this year were Duqm Airport and Daouk area, part of Bidbid Sur Road. The Ministry also unveiled about development plans for ports of Sultan Qaboos, Suhar, Shinas, Khasab and Musandam in the logistics, commercial and tourism sectors. The Rusail Bid project will be started soon this year for adding 2 lanes for the road in addition to other new road projects. Different sea fossils were discovered in the governorate of Al Buraymi, some of which dates back to millions of years. Survey indicators also proved the existence of remnants of sea dinosaur, which indicated that it had lived in the areas millions of years ago. A Dutch research team of the Geological Museum in Netherlands visited the site with some Omani specialists who came to complete previous surveys. The legislative and supervisory means rendered by their excellencies the members of the Shura Council were the main topics discussed during the Shura Council office meeting for the 3rd annual round 2017-2018. The meeting also dealt with the mechanism of coordination between the office and its permanent committees in different topics studied by the committees. The office stressed on the goal of the committees and to focus on current issues in the society. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. Here in the Sultanate, many foreign students take up their Arabic language lessons from Atlad Institute at the University of Niswa. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The United Nations Special Envoy on Syria said today that talks were continuing with Russia to implement a United Nations Security Council resolution passed last week that called for a ceasefire of 30 days in the war-torn country. Speaking to journalists during talks with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Geneva, Stefan de Mistura said the discussions also involved longer-term arrangements on how to accelerate the idea of a constitutional committee. In the meantime, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov today called on the US-led coalition to help humanitarian access to Syrian territories under their control. Lavrov's statements came during a speech at the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. He was speaking after a 5-hour truce ordered by Syria's Russia's allies to allow civilians to flee the besieged opposition-held enclave of Eastern Ghouta near Damascus failed to result in aid deliveries of medical evacuations while deadly airstrikes and shelling continued in the region. Lavrov, during his speech, also said Russia considers dividing territories or terrorists into good and bad was unacceptable, and reaffirmed Russia's commitment to helping the Syrian government defeat terrorism in the country. Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani has called on the Taliban to take part in peace talks to save the country. Ghani made his comments today at the second Kabul Process Conference, which was attended by representatives from more than 20 countries and international organizations. Ghani said that the Afghan government would provide facilities and security for those Taliban who join the peace process. A resurgent Taliban has been blamed for much of the increased violence in Afghanistan since US and NATO forces concluded combat mission in 2014. The attacks have underscored the weaknesses of Afghan security forces. Ghani also called on government-to-government talks with Pakistan. The first Kabul Process Conference was held in June last year. The intense cold spell that has left most of Europe shivering in the sub-zero temperatures shows no signs of letting up. In Poland, the seasonal swell of the Oder River, followed by the big freeze, has left interesting formations of ice wrapped halfway up tree trunks in the Kazory area. Meanwhile, constant ice flows have brought the river activity to a standstill, with a regular ferry cancelled until further notice. Persistent snow and freezing conditions have caused travel problems across the continent. In Denmark, police said the 54-year-old man who suffered from dementia was found dead in the snow on the Baltic Sea island of Bornholm. While in the UK, emergency officials said many drivers had to be rescued from stranded vehicles. Hundreds of schools were shut for the second day in a row. Back to more local news. Activities of Awareness Forum for Suspicious Financial Transactions concluded in Supreme Council for Judiciary. It is organized by the National Financial Information Center of Royal Oman Police with the participation of a number of specialists from the public and private sectors. The forum is meant to acquaint the participants with the experiences of other countries and financial investigations of money laundering and terrorism financing. It also reviewed the international developments in the remittances field, in addition to procedures and systems of assessing risk and indices of suspicious financial transactions. The Sultanate, represented by the Minister of Heritage and Culture and the Minister of Information, is taking part at the 9th Brunei Darussalam Book Fair, which will start until 8th March. The fair coincides with the selection of the Brunei capital Bandar Seri Begawan as the cultural capital of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. The Sultan's participation in this fair aims at introducing the Omani intellectual and cultural production, highlighting the Omani identity and promoting cultural communication education between the Sultanate and Brunei Darussalam, as well as highlighting the heritage, literary, historic and media aspects of the Sultanate. The Sultanate Pavilion includes a collection of books and publications in various literary and intellectual fields in Arabic and English. The pavilion also includes a selection of paintings and pictures highlighting landmarks of modern Renaissance tourism potentials and elements in the Sultanate, as well as pictures of some social activities and popular arts. The Cultural Club launched an initiative to translate the Omani literature into a number of international languages such as German, Bosnian, Azerbaijani, Russian, Ukrainian and English language. The initiative included translating 87 texts in poem, novel, story and theatre, as well as 68 scientific articles and research in the field of political history and the Omani press. On the sideline of Muscat International Book Fair, a workshop was held under the theme Economic Investment of Cultural Heritage Resources. The workshop showcases the challenges and solutions beside ideas which can be invested in this aspect. Studying the possibility of students at higher education institutions benefiting from the activities held by Sultan Qaboos University topped discussions of third meeting of the joint committee between the university and the Minister of Higher Education, which held its meeting at Sultan Qaboos University. The meeting further discussed benefiting from the university's experience in the field of admission, registration, students' affairs and employment guidance, in addition to a review on conducting some proposed amendments to the organizational directory of the Students' Consultancy Council, as well as the role of the university in achieving the goals of the Permanent Development 2030. Within the framework of Muscat municipality's keenness to prevent negative phenomena which affect individuals and environment, the municipality held a workshop for its employees who obtained judicial seizure in different directorates in order to raise awareness of the powers and tasks of municipal inspections of all kinds of technical health and urban and field inspections and its role in the face of practices suffered by the municipality. The workshop included various aspects, mainly the legalization of the inspection and the prescription of judicial seizure of the municipal inspector and his skills, in addition to inspection violations contained in the provisions of the Omani penal law and means of unifying procedures for controlling violations and activating administrative sanctions. In cooperation with the University of Muscat, PDO organized a special lecture on transformation of energy and its future as part of its strategy to serve the community. The lecture focused on the current and future challenges facing the Sultanate in the field of energy production and future transformations at a time when the company recently inaugurated the mirror station to generate solar steam in the field of Amal oil, which will put the Sultanate as one of the most renewable energy producers in the world. Lad Institute at the University of Nizwa has become a focal point for many students from different parts of the world to learn Arabic. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Rahbi has more details in the following report.
Aiming to preserve the Arabic language, the University of Nizwa has established Lad Institute for teaching Arabic to speakers of other languages, which offers academic programs that cater for the needs and levels of learners from different parts of the world. The institute is also a platform for cultural exchange.
The institute is playing a very strong and very helpful role in spreading the culture of the Arabs and the culture of Omanis in particular. That's through programs that we have here in this institute, encouraging students to integrate with the local society, whether it is in Nazwa or within the Sultanate of Oman in general.
The learners at this institute study modern standard Arabic through courses that cover beginners to advanced levels, as well as some courses that prepare students for their Arabic studies in other universities.
I chose Oman to learn Arabic because it's a very safe country and you are rumored to have very polite and nice people. And in general, it's a very beautiful country as well. And to be honest, there isn't a lot of knowledge about Oman, in Denmark at least, so I thought it would be interesting to see the country and learn more about it. And also because your dialect is very close to Fusha.
In addition to the on-campus courses, the Institute offers a language partner program to increase students' chances to practice Arabic in a semi-formal situation with qualified partners who are trained for this purpose.
Because not a lot of people speak it in Denmark, unfortunately, and it sounds like I really like the sound of the language, so I just wanted to learn it. I chose this institute because I really wanted to visit Oman, and Niswa sounded like a great place.
During their course of study, the students also have access to all facilities at the university, including the computer labs and the library, where they can practice learning Arabic in a self-study mode. The learners at Al Institute hit two birds with one stone: practice the Arabic language and experience the Omani culture and tradition. From Nizwa University, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhliya, Governorate.
And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night over the governorates of Al-Dhahira and Al-Buraymi. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate with a rough maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. Oman Business Forum discusses in Muscat enhancing the partnership between public and private sectors. The Al-Batna Expressway from Muscat to Shiraz is to be opened in April. And different sea fossils are discovered in the governorate of Al-Buraymi, dates back to millions of years. And with that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. But thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.